Hi guys, sighting in a rifle today. Haven't shot this one in a while. I just put the scope on, so I don't know exactly where it's at. So first thing you got to do to sight in a new rifle is just bore sight it. Basically look right through the barrel. Put the barrel on the target, center it up as best you can. Then use your reticles to get your reticle to be centered up the best you can. Fire one shot, and you'll look at the paper and you'll see, okay, where did that shot go? You got your aim point where you pointed your scope to begin with, but the barrel shot somewhere else. So now what do you do? I hear guys, oh, 2 clicks this way, 1 click that way, and all this kind of stuff. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is keep your rifle still, right at the same place where you aimed. Well, your scope is on your aim point. Your barrel shot somewhere else. So all you have to do is move your reticle to where the impact was. It's that simple. You don't have to think about ups, downs, lefts, rights, nothing. Just I aimed here, it hit over there. Just move your crosshairs and your reticle over to where the bullet hit on the paper, and you're done. You sight it in one shot. You can verify it with another shot if you like. Verify it with 2 or 3 shots, but usually that gets you right on the money. Just move the reticle to where the impact is. That way, when you're in a match and all the wind's blowing hard, you know that you sighted in here at your home range. You know it's shooting straight here without too much wind, but then you get to the match and the wind's howling to the right. Well, you shoot dead center and it lands out in a 4 or 5 ring way out to the right. All you got to do is twist your reticle, move your crosshairs over where the impact is, and boom, you're centered up again, just like that. So you don't have to waste a bunch of shots trying to figure out how to get a thing back on paper. I don't know how many matches I've been to and somebody said they turned the reticle the wrong way and they missed the paper and they got lost. Well, that's how you do it. You don't think lefts, rights, or anything. You just see where the impact is on the paper. You hold your rifle still where you aimed before, and just move your reticle over where the impact is. Just like that. You can do it 10 times in a match if you need to. That way you're always aiming dead center. You're not holding off 5 rings to the right, or, I mean, you can do that, and I have done that, depending on how the wind's going and how fast I want to get the shots off. But usually I'll correct over and I'm aiming dead center every time. I just always aiming dead center. You know, the wind might push me off one way or another, but I'm usually aiming right on. So that's kind of how that goes. I'll get my target and I'll show you. I tried to do some pictures through the scope at the target, but it's not working. My camera won't go that far, so I'm gonna have to just walk out and get it. So anyway, good enough for now. Hey guys, back to the target. I went and got it, and I just wanted to show you. I made the little cross there where I wanted to aim, and so I bore sighted it, and my first shot was here. So I just kept my rifle pointed here, the scope right where I originally shot, held the rifle still, and moved my crosshairs down to this spot right here. And then I brought it back over here and aimed here again. The second shot went here. It was close, but wasn't quite close enough for me. So I started here again, and I moved the crosshairs over, and I shot the next shot right there. Usually it works within 1 shot, but maybe I moved the rifle or something. Who knows what happened. But one way or another, it took 3 shots to get it where I wanted it. Now I'm ready to go to the match, and as long as you know your come-ups for whatever distance you're shooting, you'll be all right. Now you got to remember, like if this is 100 yards, if I'm shooting at 600 yards, for my caliber, I got to come up about 12 MOA. And that'll get me my elevation, but you got to remember that even if there's no wind, there's still going to be some spin drift on that bullet, and it's going to end up off to the right. So you might want to put in a couple of MOAs right before you shoot that first shot when you're out at 600 yards. Because just spin drift of the bullet, unless you're looking at the wind and the wind's blowing real hard back to the left, and then maybe you don't have to do that. But anyway, simple way to sighting in. You don't have to think lefts or right. So if you're in a match and it's the sighter period, and you aim here, and the bullet ends up way over here on your first shot, you can just correct your reticle right over to where the hole is, and then bring it back, and you should be shooting dead center. I mean, I do that all the time during the sighter period. The wind's switching back and forth, or blowing harder or lighter or whatever. It's hitting way over here. I don't want to aim at some arbitrary point way over here to try to center them up. I usually correct in my scope, so I'm usually trying to aim dead center. Now, if it gets down to the very last shot, and I've shot a couple sighters right, perfect, and all of a sudden the next shot shoots way out over here, or maybe I won't correct the scope right then. I'll, you know, just hold over. But if I can, I'll try to keep them centered up, my reticle anyway, so I can aim. It's so much easier to aim it to cross right in the middle of the target, right? It's dead center. It's so much easier to aim there, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. You got to hold over a little bit. I don't necessarily like to correct my scope the very last shot, you know, because you can end up with things like this where it's still off just a little bit. You think you corrected, I mean, you got it close, but it's not perfect. So I usually want 2 or 3 shots to make sure, to verify that it's right where it needs to be. So if all of a sudden the wind changes a whole bunch right at the very last, then I'll probably leave my scope alone, because I don't want to have any variation there. Sometimes some scopes, for whatever reason, maybe the wind blew it over here, or maybe my barrel wasn't fouled enough, or maybe I moved the rifle a little bit, or there's all kinds of variables that can happen. So that's why I typically try to do a couple shots to verify, to make sure it is where I'm at. And then when I know it's where it's at, right at the end of the sighter period, I don't want to move it if I don't have to. I'm hopefully there. But sometimes the wind picks up or drops off. Sometimes you just got to wait, you know, wait for your wind condition to come back. And then, you know, that's what all holding's about. You know, suddenly you see the wind pick up, and or turn around or do something. Sometimes you just got to wait for your wind condition to come back where you sighted in, where you hit dead perfect. And when you see it, well, then let them fly. But anyway, that's how I adjust my scope. Don't have to think lefts or rights. Just move that reticle to the impact, and you got it. Right on. Hey guys, if you like the videos, please like and subscribe, and share it to all your friends that might be interested in Bentress or just shooting in general. Thanks.